Okay, there's one book I was thinking about after I made my last video on the Rob Bird's banned books, the museum he went into. Now I seriously doubt this book is in that museum because I doubt it ever got banned. It's a book written by an American. I'm going to get to this in a second. We have our free speech laws, our First Amendment. So very, very rarely is a book actually banned in the U.S. A lot of some libraries, like school libraries, will say, "Yeah, we're just going to keep that book because it's just something kids shouldn't be reading." I'm going to get to another book they discussed at the end of this video because it's certainly worth discussing. But the book that I'm going to discuss right now is a book. It's written by Henry Ford, the International Worker, something close to that. Now I searched on Amazon. There is a book that's part of the title, and I think it's the same book, but I couldn't get a real good description of the book, so this may not be it. But Henry Ford, the guy that started the Ford Car Company, wrote this book where he was falsely blaming the Jews for a bunch of bad stuff. And I guess Hitler had actually read the book, or some of the Nazis had read the book and were familiar with it, and that's kind of what they loosely based their their beliefs on. There were some of the top Nazis that when they were brought to trial in Nuremberg, in the 40s, they referenced the Henry Ford book. They could come out and say, "Don't you know you're an American guy? Henry Ford wrote this book," and they were kind of saying that's I guess it didn't really gain them anything. They only executed Nuremberg. They only executed just a very small number of the really bad Nazis, and a bunch of them just ended up with short maybe a 10 or 12-year prison sentence, and they were released. So they didn't some of them didn't come off all that bad. But anyway. Last book I want to cover is one that Rob Bird had covered. A book I'm not familiar with, or that actually been a TV series out of this. That it was 13 Reasons. Apparently, this lady, I guess it's a true story, but I'm not sure. But this young lady had made 13 audio tapes on her reasons why she deleted herself. And apparently that book got banned, because it, talked about deleting yourself. Now, what I think it should have brought up, a bigger discussion on the reasons why, this is talking about, like teenage girls, 10 to mid-teens would delete themselves. I think it should have brought up a much broader discussion, among parents and teachers and people like that on, why young girls would be put in that position. That should have, made it, instead of banning the book, they should have, delved into the reasons and actually addressed some real problems. That's the way I feel about it. Anyway, same thing with Mein Kampf. Apparently they have, they started publishing the book again. Book with notes and stuff. This is, this is, these reasons. This is, expanded upon the original book. Okay. Still love this crazy world. Still love all of this. Bye bye.